What I'm going to show you now is how to draw a cone. So I'm just going to show you here what the mistakes are. So a cone is a little bit like a triangle, but it has a round bottom. So you want to make this area curved. So let's go onto the vinyl paper. So I'm going to make two lines at angles, and then I'm going to make a curved bottom. Okay, and I'm going to pretend that the light is coming this way on our cone, and that's going to tell us where the shadows and the highlights are going to be. So when you're shading, just use your 2B pencil. If you have 6Bs or other pencils, you can use them later. So I'm going to shade this lightly, and this is sort of a medium value. So if we go back to our value scale, the medium value would be about here. Okay, so I'm going to start with this area here and then work my way lighter and then darker again. So here I'm using the pressure of the pencil, so I'm not pressing as hard. Later on you could go back and blend if you wanted to. And then I'm going to make it blend, so then it starts to go from the highlight or the lightest area and get a little bit darker. And I'm going to put more pencil on the paper. And as you can see, the value is going to meet up at the top. So you don't want your values as like going this direction. You want them all to meet at the top, at the point. So I'm going to make this cone get darker as I go to the right, because it's farther away from the light on the right hand side. And I'm going to press a little harder and more layers of pencil as I get toward the right hand side. I have kind of a lopsided cone, so I'm going to fix that. Now just notice that I'm not shading outside of my cone. I'm making sure to keep my shading inside of the cone, because when you look at objects, the shading of the object does not go outside of your contour lines, your lines that you initially drew to make this geometric form. Okay, so I can keep working on the shading. And I want it nice and blended. So it fades from one value into the next. So if you go back to the previous lesson about, with the value scales and making the blended value scale, that's what you want to do here. Okay, unless something has a very harsh shadow on it, you do not want to have it with dark stripes or light stripes even. So I can even work on this a little bit. So I can take my eraser and erase out, and I can try to blend this a little bit more. I can use my finger to blend, or I can use a stump or a paper towel or a napkin. And I want to reserve the darkest value for the shadow area. So here underneath, this is a line, looks like a line, but it's really a shadow where the object is touching the surface of whatever it's resting on. And here's the shadow. This is the cast shadow. And this is going to be the darkest your pencil can go. So I actually can go back into this and darken this side just a little bit more. But remember, you want to make sure that this value is darker than this part right here. Do you see how they're lined up next to each other? What makes them look separate is that this one's much darker, a different value than that one. So I can go back and lighten this a little bit more and adjust the values. And there you have it, a cone.